in their own world. Tay, go ahead, share your example.
At my old school, we were doing this like computer thing assignment, and our teacher put me in a group with a bunch of lazy people,
Okay.
and so I ended up having to do work. And then when I asked one of them to do it, they tried to catch the attitude, and I had to cuss them out.
So the kids that weren't contributing, you cussed them out.
Yeah.
Interesting. What ended up in your group?
They didn't get any credit.
So Tay, we're going to talk about what it takes to work in an effective group today, and I want you to think about, what were my other choices in that scenario? Did I have to do that, or could I have gotten my needs met in a healthier way? So I want you to hold that story till later. Trezell.
I was in a 5-person group at my old school, and we were in a group with a bunch of lazy people, so I did like half the work,
Okay.
and then I made them do the rest. Like they weren't listening. So.
Oh, all right. So which attending skills weren't they using? If you were trying to give advice or knowledge or whatever, contribute, and they weren't giving you anything back, they weren't giving you any what? Which one of these skills?
Asking questions.
No feedback, right? So you're like, hey, what can I do to improve this? What do you guys think? And they're like, I don't know. They're not giving you any feedback. It's hard to be an effective group if you don't have partners that will give you feedback. Saul.
Yeah, I was with 300 people.
Okay.
And we had to do research on
All right. You were that guy, meaning the guy that did everything or the guy that did nothing? The guy that did nothing. So Saul's saying, I was actually that guy that did nothing. What happened in your group, Saul?
they did their own work.
Okay, so you kind of separated yourself from the group. So there were no tribal rules going on. Do you have your hand up? Okay, sir.
At my old school, I don't have any.
Okay. All right, moving on. Please write, why is this important? With 3 lines. And our last tribal rule, number 5. Number 5 is what, Noli? Wa space.
Wall.
Wa. So I'll explain that in just a sec. Wa space. The definition of wa space in discovery. Tay, I'm noticing you're turning around a lot, not using your skills. How are your attending skills?
Are you serious?
I'm just noticing you're
I
not
was
moving.
asking a question.
So raise your hand if you have any questions. How are your attending skills, sir?
They're bad.
Can you fix it?
Yes.
How many is that?
2.
Thanks. All right, so wa space. The definition for tribal rules is that you maintain 3 feet from other groups. Maintain 3 feet from other groups.
So do we actually gotta measure that?
I mean, how long is 3 feet essentially?
A yard?
What's that?
A yard.
Yeah, it's a yard,
yard.
right? So it's pretty easy to kind of monitor the distance. If Tay and Trezell were in that group, and Jazzy wasn't in their group, and they got touched desks, but Jazzy stayed right where she was, they would not be using any wall space because she's right next to them. What could happen if they're working on a test or an assignment and Jazzy's sitting there? What could Jazzy do?
You don't have company?
Raise your hand, please. Trezell.
What does the wall stand for?
I'll get to that. What could happen if Tay and Trezell are working on an assignment and Jazzy's sitting there doing her own work? Joel, will you raise your hand, please? Someone raise hand and give feedback. Saul. She could just copy their answers, right? Oh yeah. Oh, what? What are you guys talking about? Cool, I'm just going to copy. Maintain 3 feet from other groups. All right. The WA, Trezell, to answer your question, the man that wrote the Discovery curriculum was in a meeting, and there were a bunch of Japanese people in this meeting, apparently. He interpreted the word wa to mean maintaining distance from people. Turns out it was some concept that meant the group is more important than the individuals that are in it. Like a group can accomplish more than one person. But he liked the term anyway, so he just kept it as wa space. It's a Japanese word, apparently. That the man that developed Discovery.
How old is Discovery?
25 years old. So use appropriate body language. All right. Last one is, why is this important? Please underline that. 3 blank lines. What we are going to do now is actually use these tribal rules in action. So, Trazel, if you could track me, please. See, Noli's still using her skills, Adrian's using his skills. We are going to cluster in groups of 3. So in your group of 3, you're going to use these tribal rules, and in that group, you're going to answer, why is it important to be nose to nose? Why is it important to introduce yourself? We kind of touched on a few of these, but there's some that maybe you can provide your own insight for and think about personal situations you've been in where it could have been helpful. So, sir, go ahead.
Can I be exempt from the group?
Nope, so this is,
I'm not feeling it.
What is this, Miss?
I'm not feeling it right
so
now.
I'm waiting for 100% so I can,
Are you listening to me?
I'm sorry, sir, I can have an individual conversation with you, but during group work, there's no exceptions. So the expectations are that we are using tribal rules right now and everyone's
I'm
participating.
in a bad headspace.
So what we are going to do is, what are we going to do first, Jazzy? Use our tribal rules. In groups of how many people, Andres?
7.
How many people are in your group? Raise your hand if you have feedback, if you're in the moment. Jordan, go ahead. 3 people per group. And what questions are you going to answer? What questions are you going to answer, Solomon?
Oh, auto.
All of those. What-
All those questions can go down.
Okay, that pertain to each what?
Tribal rule.
Excellent, each tribal rule. So with your group, guys, you can write a few words, you can draw a visual of what it might look like about why it's so important. But we want a few things to know why. Actually, let's do full sentences. Do write these in complete sentences, why it's important. Sorry, the visual is something we're going to do later today.
And sorry, what would that sentence start with? How would that sentence start? Jordan.
I think that using names is important because
Back up, take the I think off.
Can I answer it?
using names is important because
There you go. If you have I think, it kind of weakens your argument, just, this is why it's important.
Solomon, go ahead. Actually, Solomon, can you hold your question until you have 100%?
I'm not doing savage shit.
What if you already answered all those questions? What got a group up?
Yep. Yeah, so in your group, you're going to come to a general consensus, and then Ms. Beck and I will ask certain groups to come up and give their feedback up on here in complete sentences. Give me a thumbs up if you understand. So Tomas, I'm noticing your turnaround. Tay, I'm noticing you're not in the moment.
Damn.
Give me a thumbs up if you're clear on the expectations of what we are about to do. I see one person. Thumbs up, thumbs sideways if you have a question, thumbs down if you have no idea what we're about to do. Got Jordan, Alex.
Sir,
Where are you at, Johnny? Thumbs up, middle, or down if you are not sure what's going on. Andres, what are you doing? Where are you at? Johnny, what's your clarifying question if your thumb is down? Do you understand the expectation? All right, Washington, or Josh? Middle, all right, what's your question? Can you clear it down, please? So Tay, I'm noticing you're still turned around, not tracking me. What's that? What is your question? If you understand everything, thumb up. Okay, Saul's good. Tomas, Brenda. All right, so please go ahead and gather in your groups of 3. You have 20 seconds to get in your group and do desk touch, introduce yourself, and use names. Groups of 3.
You touch your desk.
One group of 4, yeah, so you guys, yeah. Other groups of 3, please be prompt with your movement. You have about 15 seconds left.
You guys use polite language.
I see this moving promptly. Go ahead and shake your hands, introduce yourselves. I see Jordan moving promptly with his group. Jazzy, you could introduce yourself to your group members.
Can we just start
So you guys will be the last group of 4.
Anyways, I know guys.
it'll actually be a group.
Yes. So Joel, you guys have about 10 seconds to introduce yourself, shake hands. hands
Can
done.
we
I
start
see Johnny
like
giving a
this?
professional handshake.
Like a normal? Can our desk start just being really sharp? So like,
Yeah, y'all not in the group. She about to tell
I
y'all.
mean, like for good, can we stay in the group?
Oh, no, we'll go back. It's easier word.
Yeah, she about to tell y'all.
So, you guys would go to close this application. So you're all looking for social.
Because Johnny, can I just recognize it's gonna be like faulty.
Oh.
Please, how's this?
That's great, thank you. Yeah.
Putting the, I guess that.
But I tried to talk to you, and you didn't talk to me.
There is.
So you can have a one-on-one. So how are you gonna try to do what you do?
So if you wanna step into the also, but the expectation is that you join group work, and if you have a problem, you gotta ask for that conversation. You're just sitting here playing with the music.
Hey, Kim, you're in your room. Can you tell me why you want
Oh, I was just gonna say, there's such a mess. And you can print them and have them copy them. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. So you guys know consensus, how would you start this first one? Awesome.
Because it shows. Food, okay. Come on, finish the sentence. I'm just gonna like because it shows actual. Anyway, you're fucking that's what you think. That's actually funny.
I never thought.
You don't know what a jock strap is?
Oh, I took a cute picture this morning.
It's like a phone.
Anyway,
Listen.
oh yeah, that shit, bro.
Comes up. Yeah. It's the part right there where it's supposed to be. And it's like under here. Drink.
I didn't mean to.
I think he needed it, but okay.
Alright, you guys back started yet? And then everybody.
I said Monday.
No, okay, so.
Anyways, where do you think for
Okay, hold on, back up. Wait. We already know
no. Yeah, because you know they don't want your name.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a part because it shows respect. So do that for your name, right?
Why is it important?